Is that all you got?
And then as Scott was starting, Bowie was coming off the bench as Neal follows and almost and does bring down the entire backboard. How strong is he? Well, I think this backboard company will attest to it.
Efficient necessarily to take that shot that fast.
Oh, and there's a swing by O'Neal, and they got a brouhaha on the floor. Somebody swung, but we'll have to see who.
To win.
That's not true.
He did not.
That's
win.
not true.
He did not. Well, in
That's
your
not
opinion,
true.
no. Just because you say something, it's just
That's
your
not
opinion.
true.
No, it's not true.
Me and Pat Riley never saw eye to eye, and what happened to my man win. So it's not true what you're saying.
Well, you
it's
had
not
to-
true what you're saying.
That's not true.
I'm just letting you know. You know what you just.
was the man on that team.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Don't
matter.
even start
It doesn't matter. I was a role player. You're right, but you know what?
That's
Me and him
my
didn't get
point.
along.
That's my point.
Me and him
I'm
didn't get
saying
along.
with your best player.
You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to
telling-
championship.
I'm just
No.
telling you something.
Stop
Dwayne
babying
Wade
these
carried
players.
you to that championship. No matter how much you scream you loud,
Listen.
that does not
Listen.
make you right.
Listen.
You're wrong in this. You can
And that's why you ain't
yeah,
win, because you was a
yeah.
baby. Stop babying these players.
I'm not babying no players.
He don't play. He don't play. He got to sit his ass down. Period.
He got to repair his
He ain't got to repair nothing. He got to stop babying the players.
He
You
got-
got baby. That's why you ain't win.
He got to. I didn't have Dwayne. I didn't have Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant carry me up and down the court.
So why you not Hall of Fame?
Because
I got 3 Finals MVP, Chuck.
Because you
Google me, Chuck.
Everybody
Google
knows
me,
you were a
Chuck.
great
You see
player.
that?
Everybody
Google
knows
me.
you were a great player.
You don't know
That
what you're
mean
talking about when it comes to
No,
championship. He ain't got to repair
that's
nothing.
not.
He got to step up and play.
We all
when he
didn't
come
have
play.
other players
This is
carrying us
playoff
up and down the
stoppage,
court.
Chuck.
You can yell as much as
I
you
got
want
3
to.
Finals MVP. How many
and
you
you
got?
were a great player.
Thank
but
you.
you wouldn't have got him if
That's
you
my
didn't have
point.
Kobe.
So next up is Jupiter in Capricorn. So Jupiter is actually ruled by Sagittarius, and it's the planet of traveling, good luck, higher learning. What else do Jupiter rule? Expansion. So growing. Jupiter is actually the planet of good luck also. So that's some of the things that Jupiter and Sagittarius get associated with. So his is in Capricorn. So Jupiter is all about expansion, what makes you grow, like what makes you feel like expand, like what motivates you and help you in terms of what like makes you want to grow and make you feel like you're growing in the world. So his is in Capricorn, which is interesting because we know Capricorn is an earth sign like Taurus and Virgo, and Capricorn is all dealing with business. It is Capricorn rules the work life. And Capricorns, you know, is known for being the CEOs. They want to be the boss. They want to run the business. So that makes sense, of course, with Shaq. This can explain why he's so big into business and business adventures. And, you know, then that's what he really known for, being a good businessman. That can come from his Jupiter and Capricorn because he can feel good having businesses, buying businesses, growing businesses. That's what makes him feel like he's expanding in the world. So this is what it says about Jupiter and Capricorn. Shaquille O'Neal's positive qualities are honesty, sincerity, faithfulness, ingenuity, resourcefulness, and some degree of mechanical ability. Shaquille O'Neal attempts at growth, expansion, and meeting new opportunities and getting ahead in the world are met with reserve, discipline, caution, system, practicality, and organization. Shaquille O'Neal has a desire for material success, yet this may not bring satisfaction or happiness if gained. Shaquille O'Neal may be I'm guessing I should say Shaquille O'Neal may have a tendency toward Mr. Measureless and withholding himself from the rest of the world. Financially and emotionally, Shaquille O'Neal hates waste is self-reliant and self-controlled and possesses a desire to have authority over others. Shaquille O'Neal can raise to great heights if he stays honest, truthful, respectful, and keep his nose clean, doing everything above broad. So yeah, um, that's Jupiter and Capricorn. You know that Shaq do like having authority over others. Saying that he can have material success, which we know. What else? He can withhold himself financially and emotionally from the world. He's self-reliant and self-control. So yeah, that's Jupiter in Capricorn. We could kind of see how that relates to Shaq. 'Cause like I told you, once we get past Mars, everything else is more so inwards or building on everything else from your sun to your Mars. Your sun to your Mars is what you can visually see with someone in their lifestyle. The Jupiter through Pluto is kind of more um internal things that you can't see. For example, next is Saturn and Gemini. So Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, and it's the planet of hard work, discipline, all of the grown-up things, rules and regulations. Capricorn rule and Saturn rules the work life. So all of the adult things, hard life lessons, being following rules and being disciplined and making the supposed to right decisions is what Saturn and Capricorn get associated with. So his is in Gemini. We know Gemini is the air sign, just like Aquarius and Libra. So Gemini is the communicator of the zodiac ruled by Mercury. So it's all about talking, and communication. So what's funny is that Saturn rules discipline and what you could struggle having discipline in. So it's funny that his is in Gemini. So this obviously means this could be somebody who struggles with discipline when it comes to communication and talking, which we know Shaq does. Saying whatever pops into their head, not having no tact, so he don't have real breaks when it comes to his communication style. And you combine that with Mercury and Aries, that's very direct, and blunt. That explains why Shaq is the way that he is. So it says about Saturn and Gemini. Shaquille O'Neal's thought process is deliberate and serious, and he is organized, focused, and mentally stable. Shaquille O'Neal has the ability to concentrate on complex issues and come up with realistic solutions. Shaquille O'Neal appreciates learning new things. However, there may be feelings of cynicism, sadness, and pessimism. The intake of air into the lungs or the oxygen of the blood can be hindered as a result of nervous stress. Shaquille O'Neal lungs require a lot of oxygen. He should sleep in well-ventilated environment at all times. Here, Saturn calms his head and aids with the control of Gemini innate flightness. Saturn is in excellent position, but Shaquille O'Neal may need to work on his faith in the future. If Shaquille O'Neal wants to be successful in anything, he will need to discipline his mind and learn to think and act logically. So yeah, that's another thing, obviously. Because we know that Gemini is about logic and thinking in the mind also, just like the other air signs. So that's where like they say, he might need to struggle at and get better at disciplining his mind and thinking more logically, which we know that Shaq can struggle with sometimes. About the stuff about the lungs, we never know whenever they talk about health problems and stuff. Once we get down here, that's why I would say that this stuff is more internal type of stuff. That we really don't know about, so I can't speak on Shaq's lungs. Psionism and pessimism, we can definitely see Shaq being like that. You really don't see Shaq get down that much, but I'm pretty sure Shaq have got sad a lot on his own personal time because he's one of the people who don't like to show weakness. So that might be kind of personal to himself, especially with him being a Pisces. Pisces is really emotional, a really emotional sign. So Shaq might, deal with a lot of being sadness, especially throughout different times of his life, maybe when he got a divorce and things like that, and times like that. So next is Uranus in Libra. So Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, and it's the planet of technology, friendship, rebellion. I already said technology, right? Yeah. So what else? Rebellion, forward thinking, is some of the things that Aquarius and Uranus rules off of the top of my head. So we see his is actually in Libra. So they stopped giving us a breakdown. But we know Libra is another air sign like Gemini and Aquarius. So let's see. Okay, Uranus and Libra traits. Oh, revolution is what Uranus and Aquarius also get associated with rebellion, revolution. So it says Uranus and Libra revolutionizes relationships, partnerships, equality, and social justice. So of course, all of the things of Libra, because we know Libra's rule partnerships and social justice. So breaking traditional barriers to create new unconventional connection models. This generation prioritized them diplomatic, artistic approaches to freedom, unpending traditional marriage roles to pursue authentic, self-respecting commitment. So they could lead, like I say, an unconventional lifestyle because they challenge and try to revolutionize the stereotypical relationship. So maybe that can explain why Shaq do have an unconventional lifestyle, dating a lot of different women and tricking, Shaq be doing and things like that, maybe. I'm trying to correlate how this relates to Shaq, of course. They bring harmonious aesthetic approach to social issues, acting as a revolutionary peacemaker. Advocates for equality, highly concentrated with social justice. They strive for fairness and equality in both personal relationships and society, often challenging unfair traditional systems. I can see that with Shaq. Shaq ain't known as the biggest social justice person, but Shaq has spoke out on social issues, played the cop or pretended to be a police officer. I know his dad was a police officer. Um, oh, what else? Reason they're embarrassed is uh, gentle but pervasive. Let me see. Uh, the Uranus represents change associated with the Uranus rule technology, innovation, and discovery. So yeah, Uranus is all about transformation, and then Libras is all about relationships and partnerships and social justice. So that's basically what it means is that there's somebody who um wants to change or revolutionize how we look at relationships and social justice issues and partnerships. So next is Neptune and Sagittarius. So Neptune, like I said earlier, is ruled by Sagittarius, and it's the planet of dreams and illusions, artsy things such as music and drawing and movies and them type of things. So, Sagittarius is a fire sign like Aries and Leo. So we already know what fire signs is dealing with, but like I said earlier, Sagittarius is also known for traveling, being blunt and straightforward. They actually they the sign that's least likely to be tied down. They love to be free to do what they want to do and explore. So it says, so a profound, sometimes idealistic belief in personal freedom, optimism, and the urge to find universal truth through travel, education, and physiological or religious exploration. Uh, so they may find meaning through searching for truth, often exploring different cultures, religions, and philosophies to understand the universe. A strong visionary focus on humanity's collective potential and a desire for eternal or international or higher level unity. The mystics explain the secrets of horizon, both physical and spiritual, the ones who long to dissolve boundaries, not in shadows but in light. So a journey to spirituality and self-understanding, fueled by optimism and exploration. People who, free-spirited people who roam about without a care in the world. So yeah, all things with Sagittarius. So like they say that this could definitely be someone who loves to travel. Um Somebody who doesn't like to be tied down, like they say, who likes to be free, which we know that we could definitely see with Shaq. Optimistic, because I always say optimism is Sagittarius' biggest strength and their biggest weakness. So um, definitely Shaq, we definitely see Shaq is extremely optimism. That's why he kind of always upbeat. No, he loves to travel, explore things, different people. We know Shaq probably then traveled around the world and you know, you could kind of really see that in Shaq. Now, I don't know if Shaq is a spiritual person, like if he big into religion. Let me say this. Uh, okay, so they say he went from Islam to Christianity. Yes, Shaq is spiritual and maintains a multi-faceted belief system, identifying with both his Baptist upbringing and Muslim faith. I didn't even know he was ever Muslim. He's a Muslim, Baptist, and Jewish. I don't even know how that worked. I'm everybody because I'm a people person and that has expressed belief in one God. He was raised by a Muslim stepfather and a Baptist mother. So I wonder how that worked, the Baptist with a Muslim. So yeah, Shaq is technically spiritual. Like he said, he was raised spiritual though. So he definitely is spiritual, Muslim, Baptist, and Jewish. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, so it does relate to Shaq because he definitely is spiritual. And then, like you said, he's a people person. He's free loving, optimistic. That all makes sense when we're talking about Neptune and Sagittarius. So next is his Pluto and Libra. So Pluto. It's actually ruled by Scorpio, and it's the planet of death and transformation. Reinventing yourself is what Pluto is really. It's the main thing that it represents, and same for Scorpio. But we know Pluto get associated with all of the dark things such as betrayal and jealousy and stuff like that. But for the most part, overall, Pluto rules death and transformation. So when it's in Libra, we can you kind of can know what to expect. So we already went over what Libra represents. So this generation often experiences um hold on. But it says yeah, this person offering experience transformation through partnerships and relationships. So there you go. It's about, like I said, transformation. And reinventing yourself. And then Libra, we know, like I said, it's all about relationships and social justice partnerships. They focus on creating imbalances and exploring new forms of fairness and legal systems, business and social structures. The group often challenges traditional power dynamics, aiming for equality not equality, equity, and balance in personal and social connections. They are characterized as relational revolutionaries who often fight for authenticity and social justice. Represent a collective mission to transform how we relate to each other, whether that be through romantic partnerships or social constructs or equality. So yeah, we could definitely this also relates to Shaq, him being freedom loving, definitely connecting with people like they said, basically relational revolutionary. So they basically revolutionized relating with people, getting along with people. Like they said, they challenge outdated traditional or stifling norms in both social and personal life. Exploring fairness in legal systems and business and social structure. So yeah, want to be more fair-minded, being able to relate to people, getting along with people is what it's saying about Pluto and Libra. So we can definitely see this with Shaq and then the Libra in this chart is where you can see kind of the relatability that comes along with Shaq, but that's also comes from him being a Pisces also. How people interact, breaking away from traditional partnership models to create more equitable unions. But a question searching us. So we know that that's big with Shaq also, who kind of do what he want to do. Live like I already said, kind of a unconventional life when it comes to partnerships and relationships. So we do definitely see that with Shaq for sure. So next is this North Node. So North Node is important. I always say that North Node is actually your life direction. Is what life pulling you towards. So it's kind of like your life mission. So it's definitely very important. So North Node in Aquarius. Signifies a life journey focused on shifting from personal ego-driven recognition toward humanitarian efforts, community collaboration, and innovation. Individuals are learning to embrace teamwork, community, and progressive, unconventional thinking to serve the collective rather than seeking individual glory. So what this means, because the South Node is Leo, because they opposite signs. So whatever your North Node is, your South Node gonna be the opposite. So your South Node is basically what you mastered in your past life, but it's kind of your Achilles heel because it's what you used to, what you find comfortable. Your North Node is what you're working towards. So basically, this is somebody who is ego driven recognition, but they need to move towards that and um be less personal and ego driven, which Leos is associated with being about themselves and ego driven, to being more like a Aquarius, which is humanitarian community helping people. So we do see that definitely with Shaq, but what we see he's definitely ego driven and he have that in him, but then this explains why Shaq is real big into humanitarian efforts, helping people, community work, them type of things that comes from his North Node in Aquarius because that's his life mission and what he's drawing towards. So he actually drawing towards helping people and giving and community, which we know that Shaq is really big for. Why people like Shaq a lot. He known for giving away. He done gave people cars and did a whole bunch of humanitarian type of things. So that's where it actually come from because that actually is his life direction. But you could see even early on that he had to remove, he had to learn to get away from his ego and only caring about himself. And what you like I said, you see a lot with Shaq and being more personable and accepting and giving and helping people. So so yeah, that's North Node in Aquarius, and you definitely could see that in Shaq for sure. That's why, like I said, he has an ego and he had them problems that he struggled with sometimes, but his overall goal, and you see a lot, is him being humanitarian and innovating and helping people. So lastly, it's his length in Scorpio. So length is the taboo side of you. It's the side of you you hate to share with the world. It's kind of like your shadow. So length is definitely important too. So length in Scorpio represent a powerful, intense, and often hidden energy focused on personal power, deep transformation, and navigating the taboo. This placement signifies a need to reclaim power over your own shadow self, often involving issues of control, sexuality, and profound emotional intensity. Mm. So this definitely explains a lot too about Shaq. This placement thrives on dismantling what is not working, leading to profound rebirths. There's a tendency to drive into intense, often taboo subjects, refusing superficiality, power, and feeling powerless and attempting to control others or situations to avoid vulnerability. This energy can be explosive and demanding in relationships, demanding absolute intimacy and honesty, yet it may struggle with jealousy or manipulation. So it's getting back because you also got a moon in Scorpio. So with the Mars and Taurus, so Shaq definitely is a what you want to call it? A He definitely can't a jealous person, which I don't know if he ever talked about that or ever expressed that before, if that ever came out before. But Shaq definitely is a jealous person, which is saying by nature. So that's something that he could definitely struggle with. Then, like they said, navigating the taboo. So he could be into taboo things, like Scorpios actually rule sex. So that can also explain why he was a big cheater, big into dealing with, a lot of different women. Also, and it can struggle why can show why he struggles with that, being secretive. And then, Scorpios are emotionally intense, which we know that Shaq also is too. So that's kind of what his shadow self is, the thing that his shadow self, so that he end up that you could kind of see with Shaq kind of following him, showing also why he is the way that he is in terms of being intense and dark and mysterious also. So that definitely explains also why Shaq is the way that he is. So actually looking at Shaq chart, this is another episode that proof that astrology is real, because the chart definitely lines up for sure. Like I explained, his Mercury in Aries is very telling. For sure, because that's why he's so blunt and straightforward and impulsive in speech and love to debate and so fiery. And then, like I explained, him being a Pisces is perfectly explained, because that's why, just like a Pisces, he's extremely compassionate, and open and dreamy. You could kind of tell. He loved art, that's why from making music and doing a bunch of different things, definitely see Shaq being emotional. You see his moon in Scorpio, explaining why he's such can be an intense person, especially when he in his feelings, because like I said, the moon is your feelings and how you react to things emotionally. So he react to things emotionally like a Scorpio. So that's why he's intense, take things seriously, um, can be manipulative. Then there's Venus in Aries. I explained that explains because his wife, well, his ex-wife, Shani, had a Venus in Sagittarius, and then she was a Sagittarius, so that can explain their relationships and why he craved um fiery relationships, passionate relationships. Mars and Taurus, like I said, that's the defining factor of why Shaq was able to work hard, get locked in, why he good with routine, like showing up to work, having a bunch of different businesses, um, being business minded and all of that type of stuff come from Mars and Taurus, him loving luxury, loving money. That comes from the Mars and Taurus. I explained his Saturn and Gemini's, why he could struggle with communicate with putting brakes on his communication, talking, and not really having a filter. Because, like I said, Saturn is your discipline, is kind of your brakes. Jupiter and Capricorn, like I explained, that's why he get expansion from businesses and running business. And Mars and Jupiter kind of always go together because your actions, and then Jupiter's would expand. So both in Earth signs, so that can explain his stability, why he's so business minded, why he love money. Um, and he does work hard. You look at Shaq as kind of big, and he always get the reputation of being lazy, but he's lazy. That could kind of come from him being a Pisces. And then like they say, tourists they have their lazy moments, but they are hard working also. And then North Node in Aquarius, I explained that person that also, and that definitely relates to Shaq, why he's such a humanitarian and he loved giving, but he also struggled with having the ego. So Neptune is Sagittarius, like I explained, why he don't like to be tied down, always optimistic and freedom going. So yeah, that's definitely Shaq chart definitely does line up with him and definitely do explain his personality because you got an emotional person with his sun and moon both being in water signs who's blunt in speech, who loves fiery, passionate relationships. That actions is that of a Taurus, so that means that they like sensational things. So that's Taurus is the foodies. That can explain why Shaq's so big. He love eating. Taurus, Mars and Taurus or Moon and Taurus, love to eat. Even Sun and Taurus, but especially Mars and Taurus because it show actions. Why he loves routine. So yeah, everything definitely relates to Shaq for real. So that Shaq birth chart. Shout out to Shaq. We all love Shaq. Everybody loves Shaq and hates Shaq at the same time. Everybody loves Shaq personality. He a giving good person, but then a lot of people don't like, there's things you don't like Shaq because he is extremely sensitive. You see all of the arguments that he had with Charles Barkley and with people like, Shaq is definitely sensitive and love arguing with people on the negative side. So you can see all of that definitely in his chart. So I'm out. This is actually the end of the Pisces season because we at March 18th. So I know Pisces season, I think end the 19th. Yeah, 20, I believe March 20th will start Aries season. So this gonna be my last video for Pisces season. So shout out to all of y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all season and I'm out.